Okay.
Are you live in YouTube?
I'm already everywhere, yes. Oh, we're good to go. Good morning. All right, this morning I'm going to read Workbook Lesson 182. I will be still a moment and go home. Tom's here, my dad's here, my girlfriend's here. I feel like I'm truly loved. What a life. Tomorrow we're going to head south. We're almost all packed. I'm going to pick up my kids tonight. Really looking forward to the next amazing 10 days or so. And there's the last little bit. Last puzzle piece falls into place. And we're off to the race. Lesson 182. I will be still an instant and go home. This egoic world of perception and time that you seem to live in is not home to you. That's how the sentence in the book, the other book, ends, and there's an addition here, and I stumbled. So, in this egoic world of perception and time that you seem to live in, it's not home to you, your higher self, or your true Christ nature. And somewhere in your mind, you know that this is true, a memory of your home in heaven that keeps haunting you, as if there were a place that called you to return, although you do not recognize the voice, nor what it is the voice reminds you of. Yet still, you feel an alien here in this egoic world of perception and time, from somewhere all unknown. This feeling of being an alien is nothing so definite that you could say with certainty, you are an exile here. Just a persistent feeling, sometimes not more than a tiny throb, and at other times hardly remembered, actively dismissed, but surely to return to mind again. No one but knows our real home whereof we speak, yet some try to put by their suffering in games they play to occupy their time and keep their sadness from them. Others will deny that they are sad in this egoic world of lack, limitation, and separation, and do not recognize their tears at all. Still others will maintain that what we speak of as the real home, or heaven, is an illusion, not to be considered more than a dream. Yet, who in simple honesty, without defensiveness and self-deception, would deny that he understands the words we speak when we say that we do not feel this world is our true home? We speak today for everyone that walks in this egoic world of fear, for he is not at home. He goes uncertainly about in endless search for his true home, seeking in darkness what he cannot find, not recognizing what it is he seeks. 1,000 homes he makes, yet none contents his restless mind. He does not understand, he builds in vain. The home he seeks cannot be made by his egoic split mind. There is no substitute for heaven. All he ever made with his split mind was hell. Perhaps you think it is your body's childhood home that you would find again. The childhood of your body and its place of shelter are a memory now so distorted that you merely hold a picture of the past that never happened. There is a child in your higher self, the Christ who seeks his Father's house and knows that the Christ, God's Son, is alien here. This childhood is eternal, with an innocence that will endure forever. Where this child shall go is holy ground. It is the holiness of your Christ nature that lights up heaven and that brings to earth the pure reflection of the light above, wherein are earth and heaven joined as one. It is this child in you, your Christ nature, that your Father knows, his own Son. It is this child, your biggest self, your higher self, who knows his Father. Your biggest self, your higher self, desires to go home so deeply, so unceasingly. This inner voice cries unto your split mind to let your higher self rest a while. Your Christ nature does not ask for more than just a few instants of respite, just an interval in which God's Son can return to breathe again the holy air that fills his Father's house. You are Christ's home as well. Your Christ nature will return to your ego's world. But give your Christ just a little time to be himself as God's Son within the peace that is God's Son's home, resting in silence and in peace and in love. This child who is God's Son and your higher self needs your protection. The Son of God is far from home. This child is so little that the Christ seems so easily shut out. Christ's tiny voice for truth, so readily obscured by that screaming, crazy voice your ego and your little s self share. Christ's call for help is almost unheard amid the grating sounds and harsh, rasping noises of the ego's world of fear. Yet does God's Son know that in your mind still abides his sure protection? Your mind will fail, God's Son and your higher self not. God's Son will go home, and you along with him. This child is your defenselessness, your strength. Your higher self trusts in you. He came into this egoic world of time and fear because Christ knew you would not fail. Your higher self whispers of Christ's home unceasingly to you. For Christ would bring you back to heaven with him, that Christ himself might stay in heaven and not return again where he does not belong, in your ego's illusionary world of separation, and where God's Son lives as an outcast in a world of alien thoughts. Christ's patience has no limits. Christ will wait until you hear his gentle voice for truth inside of you, calling you to let him go in peace along with you, where Christ is at home in heaven and you with him. When you are still an instant. When the ego world recedes from your mind, when valueless ideas cease to have value in your restless egoic mind, then you will hear Christ's voice so poignantly. Christ calls to you that you will not resist him longer. In that instant, Christ will take you to his home, and you will stay with Christ in perfect stillness, silent and at peace beyond all words, untouched by fear and doubt, sublimely certain that you are at home. Rest with Christ frequently today, for Christ was willing to become a little child, that you might learn of Christ how strong is he who comes without defenses, offering only love's messages to those who think that Christ is their enemy. Christ holds the might of heaven in his hand and calls them friend, and gives his strength to them who thought Christ was their enemy, that they may see Christ would be a friend to them. Christ asks that they who once perceived Christ to be their enemy now protect Christ, for Christ's home is far away, and Christ will not return to his home in heaven alone without them. Christ is reborn as but a little child each time a wanderer would leave his home in heaven. For the wanderer who plays the game of differentiation and separation must learn that he would protect. What he would protect is but this child, his true Christ's nature, who comes defenseless and who is protected by defenselessness. Go home with Christ, who is your higher self from time to time today. You are as much an alien here in the ego's dream world of lack, limitation, and separation as is Christ, who is your higher self. Take time today to lay aside your shield of defense, which profits nothing, and lay down the spear and sword you raised against an enemy without existence. Christ has called you friend and brother. Christ has even come to ask your help in letting him go home today, completed and completely. Completely. Christ has come, as does a little child, who must beseech his Father for protection and love. Christ rules the universe, yet Christ asks unceasingly that you return with him and take illusions as your gods no more. You have not lost your innocence. It is for this innocence that you yearn, and innocence is in your heart's desire. Innocence is your heart's desire. This is the voice you hear. This is the call which cannot be denied. The Holy Child remains with you. Christ's home is yours. Today, Christ gives you his defenselessness, and you accept Christ's defenselessness in exchange for all the toys of battle you made. And now the way is open, and the journey has an end in sight at last. Be still an instant and go home with Christ and be at peace a while. And that's the end of lesson 182. Good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are having a great morning. It's beautiful Friday, July 1st, beginning of the weekend. Could we hope for any more? How about a little trip to heaven? Come with me. Here we go. Notes to lesson 182 from Tom's book, Understanding A Course in Miracles Workbook Lessons. How to end the blame, shame, guilt, and fear with love and forgiveness. I will be still an instant and go home. Where are you? This is a basic question and yet we fail to ask it because we believe the answer is obvious. But is it? When asked, we typically respond in a superficial way by providing an address or a specific location on planet Earth, which we assume to be our true reality. We fail to go beyond the superficial and ask if this world is real, or if it's only an illusion or dream. If it's an illusion, it has no ability to change. It has no ability to change the truth of who we really are. If it's an illusion and we're real, it cannot be our home. Before you can answer where you are, you need to first determine what you are. If you are an unlimited spirit, part of the shared mind of God, your home cannot be a world of lack, limitation, and separation. Yet because we fail to understand what we are, we tend to answer the question of where we are based on our erroneous beliefs that the body is us and time and space are real. The world we perceive is not our home, and something deep inside tells us that this cannot be where we belong. God did not create the fear-based world that you perceive to be your provisional reality. If God created you, this cannot be your home. The egoic, fearful world we have made and perceive to be our reality is not a worthy home for God's Son, the Christ, your higher self. Instead, this illusionary world provides the game board where we can play the game of what am I in perfect safety because we've forgotten who we are. Our egos have mistaken the game token of the body to be our reality. Our egos now defend this game token, and in that defense make the game of what am I appear all too real. Our decision maker has chosen to follow the voice of fear, and our egos have turned the game of what am I into a detour into hell, fear, uncomfortable areas, unhappiness. Tom just wrote the word fear. Okay, this decision to follow the ego's fear-based thought system has turned our provisional reality into hell. Sorry, I jumped the gun there. The Christ, our big-ass self, is like an innocent child that has accompanied its parent into the movie theater. This child does not belong in this R-rated horror movie that represents lack, limitation, and separation. Instead, this child reflects the holiness and innocence of its divine birthright as part of the indivisible one self. We are the home of Christ, for we are not of this world, but rather mind or spirit. We too are part of the shared mind of God. The Christ in us remembers that the theater we have brought this child into is not our reality. Instead, it's an illusionary world in which we decide what movie we're going to watch. Our decision maker has freely decided to watch the horror show called Fear. There's nothing wrong with someone else's decision to attend a horror movie. Every day, many people go to our movie houses and pay for the right to be scared out of their wits. But these people realize that what they see on the movie screen is merely an illusion and is not real. Yet, if you fail to remember where you are, it's easy to get caught up in the drama and get pulled into the story that appears on that big silver screen. When you do this, the movie theater becomes a scary place. Yet once you remember where you are, your fear quickly dissipates and you can get back to watching and enjoying the show. Christ asks your decision maker to stop going to these fearful shows and realize that the illusionary world of your provisional reality is not your real home. The child knows that the dream world of lack, limitation, and separation is not real and longs to return with you to the home God created for his Son. The Christ, your big S self, and the Holy Spirit ask that your decision maker give up your dreams of sin, guilt, and fear, and return with them to your real home. They know that you remain as God created you, perfect, whole, and complete, and therefore have never lost your innocence. Your decision maker must first decide what you are, if it's to properly answer the question of where you are. Within each of us, there is the voice of God that knows the answer. We're aliens in this fear-based world. The voice of truth seems weak due to our decision maker's habit of following the voice for fear. When you are still and quiet, the egoic mind. When you are still and quiet, the egoic mind chatter you hear, the voice from deep within you knows that fear cannot be your home. This inner voice will not abandon you because you have freely chosen to attend this movie house for fear. The voice for God trusts you because it knows what you are. The voice will lead you back to that truth and reawaken your sleeping mind. When you decide to stop defending yourselves against a fantasy, the illusion no longer will appear real and will be gone like a little puff of smoke. The truth needs no defense. Let Christ's defenselessness be your strength. And Tom's question of the day is put aside your embedded egoic beliefs that you're tethered to the body and ask yourself this question: where are you?
Okay, so today this lesson asks us to be still an instant and go home. And today that's what we're going to do. We're going to practice that a little. So why don't you get comfortable and relax and release all thoughts of worry, tension, and just become aware of your breath. Place your attention on your
A little louder, Tony.
uh, place place your attention on your breath. Is that okay?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you now. It was
Oh,
muffled.
okay. Thank you. So become aware of the breath. And as you breathe in, also become aware of your light because you are light. Everything is light or energy. You are the light. So as you breathe in, just become aware of light. Move into the light. Be part of that light. For light is what you are, pure energy. And as you connect to and allow that light to permeate through you, in you, around you, surrounding you, and actually you also emanating that light, realize that the game token we call the body is obviously not you. You are light, and light cannot be bounded by the physicality, the costume that we call the body, or this dimension of time and space in which we appear to be unaware of the higher dimensions, the truth of what we are, light, energy, unbounded, permeating all things. The Course says that we, this dimension of time and space, is not our home. Be still and go. Be in your home. You are light, and light, love, energy, truth is your essence. Light accepts all, obeys all, is part of all, illuminates all things, all individuated aspects of consciousness. Heaven is not a place. Heaven is a state of mind, your true reality. I will be still and go home. Heaven is the awareness of the truth that you are part of that one self. And as you emanate that light and you receive that light, feel the warmth of unconditional love, acceptance, oneness, trusting all things, the idea of judgment, lack, limitation, gone, released, for that is an illusion. Light moves through the illusions of fear. Light burns away the clouds of wrong thinking, the egoic mind that believed or thought it could be something that it was not, that it could be a sinner, could have done something to turn off the light. I will be still and go home. Your home is that energy, that light, that love that you feel, that total acceptance, that joining, that oneness. You are that light. You are an individuated aspect of consciousness. And when we silence the egoic mind, we can hear the voice for Christ, the voice of the Holy Spirit, the voice of this oneness saying, you are my treasure. You are my beloved child with whom well pleased. You, prodigal son, return home. Come back to me. Connect with the light, the energy that you are. Revitalize this mind, this attention, so that you realize the truth. And before you return on your adventure of being pretending that you are something you are not. Re-energize, reconnect with the truth so that when you decide to go back to the illusion, the movie, the adventure of what it would be, what experiences would I have, so that I could demonstrate being love in form on that silver screen, you will remember the truth of what you are. If you see the costume, you will see the light emanating, shining through those costumes, and you will recognize that they are mere actors playing in the game of reawakening and rediscovering and honing their skills in being love in form. You are that light. I will be still and go home. And even in this illusionary world where we place our attention on the belief that we could be something other than what we are, when we realize and look beyond the costume, we can see that light, that truth, that understanding that they, like you, are part of the oneness of all that is light. I will be still, still that egoic thought, and pierce through the illusionary veil, the costume, and see my sisters, my brothers as mere actors. I will no longer mistake the roles that we've been assigned on this game of time and space to be or to get me trapped in the illusion of fear, separation, the idea of sin, lack. I will pierce through that and see the light. I will recognize the God in me, the God in them, their reality, their essence is light, energy. I will be quiet and return home to that truth that you, I am light, energy. That is my true reality. And as we silence the egoic mind, we can breathe in that energy. We can take a rest and return our mind, our attention to heaven, recharge, take a breath in and realize that heaven is a state of mind. It's where I choose to place my attention when I hear the voice for Christ, the voice of the Holy Spirit, the voice for God, the voice for truth. We can go into the theater and not be frightened. Will not get caught, sucked in to the drama that's happening on that silver screen. We will realize the silver screen is just our game board in which we could learn lessons and learn how to minimize, control, eliminate fear, and what appeared to once be horror shows, when we quiet that egoic mind and return to the truth, dissipates and now becomes exciting comic adventures. You are a light. You are the truth. And as we rest in that know, that feeling of total acceptance of heaven, knowing that no matter what roles we play, we are on our own perfect journey of reawakening. And if we do not feel that it's perfect at this moment, we realize that it must not be the end, for everything is perfect in the end. And each act unfolds to the perfect realization and the reclaiming of your divine birthright. I will be still a moment, reclaim my divine birthright. I will rest in the knowledge that I am home. My birthright, my inheritance has never been lost, has always been kept safe by the Christ, by that higher self, my reality. Take a moment now and just rest in that total acceptance, knowing that you are light. You are part of that one self. Take a minute and rest in that knowing. Go home to the truth of what you really are. I will be still an instant and go home. And as you rested in that stillness and went home, a feel of warmth, acceptance permeated your essence. I will be still an instant and go home. Heaven is within you. Heaven is a state of mind. You can return to that stillness, to that heaven, any time you wish to. The Christ, the Holy Spirit, place your attention, listen to that voice, still that egoic mind, and you are. And now let us become aware that we as individuated consciousness have the ability to place our awareness on any moment in this journey that is over, the journey that we could have somehow misplaced heaven, and realize that We are on an exciting adventure. The dimension of time and space, the world of perception, where we can play in perfect safety and attend shows that allow us to demonstrate what love would have me to. We can demonstrate love in form. And today, let's make that our intention to demonstrate being love in form. And how do we do that? We learn to minimize our fear and lack, limitation, and separation. We do that by using the vision of Christ, looking past the costume, that silver screen, and being aware of the light that emanates behind, through, in, surrounds all things, that total love. And as you make that your intention today to not get sucked into the game, not make it real, realize that if fear seems to enter your mind, you can be still, be silent, silence that egoic fear based thought, and re enter the truth of what you are, recharge, so that you can respond in a more loving, peaceful calm. Today, make the decision to see, be, and illuminate your world with the light of what you are. And as we become aware of the costume that we're going to put on, and use to be the neutral communication device to interact and relate on this game board, we realize that we are light, and connect with that costume, put it on, send that light, that energy through the body, reactivating, recharging, and reconnecting to the body. And as you move the light through the body, reconnecting to it, as you reach down the soles of the feet, send a lightning bolt of energy and reconnect with you, knowing that you are merely an actor. This is not your home, but today you will make the illusion of time and space less frightening. You can be the light that brings heaven to this theater of time and space. And when you've connected, just take a deep breath and reconnect and open your eyes, knowing that today you will make the decision to light your world. Create a great day. The God in me recognizes the God in you. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. That was beautiful. I appreciate it. And thanks everybody for coming. It's a beautiful summer day. I hope you're having a great one. Michael, hope you're doing great. Rainbow, Dragana, good to see you guys. Hey, Papa, how you doing? Good morning, Adriana.
I'm
What did you
I'm
guys
doing
think?
just fine. I'm doing just
Awesome.
fine. Last night I was walking my dog, and it was getting pretty dark outside, and there wasn't anything else going on. There wasn't anybody else walking their dog at that particular time. I was later than usual, but I did notice something because it was dark enough that I could begin to see a firefly here and a firefly there, and they don't have enough light to light a pathway, but they just bring pure delight to my eyes. It just really popped out to me last night that even in the darkest place, these fireflies appear to be having a good time. I don't know how they blink on and blink off, but maybe that's a little bit like we are. And when we're first getting started, we see these fireflies. There's something about them that's kind of magical because you can't see where they come from, and they pop out here and they pop out there. They don't seem to be connected, yet somehow they're connected in the sense that they all do the same thing. They blink this light, just blink it on, and then it's off again, and it's on again. And I don't have any lesson from that. I don't even have anything to say except it was pure enjoyment for me just watching them pop in and pop out like that.
Super nice image you just gave me, and you made me remember how beautiful it is to see the yeah the what is the name of that animal again?
We call them fireflies.
Fireflies.
Fireflies. Yeah,
All
those
kinds of
are
animals.
so beautiful. Yeah.
Have
Well,
you
I
ever
do have.
swum in a bioluminescent area where you can kind of you swim through and it lights up around you? Oh, Mother
Yeah,
Nature's
it's
amazing.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Well, this lesson is particularly uh, important in my point of view so far. I feel like this is quite a second step in my consciousness. And thank you, Tom, for the meditation because you really drove my mind into a nice place that I haven't been able to achieve in the past few weeks. So thank you. Um, we are all made of light. So being still in an instant and going home is just recognizing that your eyes, what you see with your eyes, and the information that you have in your mind is a refraction of that very same light. Your mind is it's a it's some sort of object that is refracting light. So you can think as well of you having the light all around you and just imagine the body being this refractive object of that very same light. But the light doesn't stop being light. So it makes sense um, with the thing that you can find in the book several times that you and in fact not only in this book you can find it in the Bible and several other things Jesus said like yeah, abide in me as I abide in you. And in the book and A Course in Miracles, it says, be in this world, but not from this world. You are not from this world. You think that you are from this world and that you belong to the DNA of your mom and your dad, but your mom and your dad are coming from the entire world, the entire cosmos. So everything is just one very same thing that it's coming from the one single light, single source that it's all around us. So when Jesus came and Jesus did all what he did and he split the story of humankind in two, he didn't mean to be followed. I mean, he didn't want it to be followed, and you can find that information in so many other books and yeah, histories and whatever. He didn't want it to be folded. He wanted us to do as he was doing all around him. He didn't have defenses at all. He didn't have choices to make. He wanted us to just observe our humanity. It's like if you are this piece of object that is refracting the light, are you going to focus or concentrate in one single color and miss the entire spectacle that it is the rainbow itself? Are you going to focus on one of them and argue with the other ones because the other colors doesn't look like red, pink, or whatever? I mean, you are missing out the entire rainbow by by putting resistance into whatever you see and whatever you think should be. So what I have been learning about this whole book and this whole story, even with my life, is that I don't need to do anything, but not with life itself. Is about my own fearful emotions whenever they arrive. Whenever they arrive, the only thing that I need to do is nothing in the level of the form, because I just need to be still and go home. And every single example that I have in my life that where I have been able to just don't react and just close my mind and ask help the whole instant and say, God, instead of saying I'm angry at him or at her or at this, say, I am in fear. Please help. Please show me the light. Please let me know. Is really forcing the mind to be in a middle. Whenever you go up in the highest sense of pleasure or happiness, or you go down in whatever makes you angry or in despair, those are extremes of one very same light. So the this concept of these two shall pass must be applied to all the streams, because even the highest points in your life will not be sustainable in the level of the time and space. So don't get attached to anything. Don't get attached. Enjoy it, yeah. Appreciate the things, the good things that you have in life. Appreciate even the rough times and the learnings that come with it, but don't get attached to it, because everything is just pure light being refracted by your game token, as Tom says. So being in this world needs to be needs to be really understood in the sense of you are not from this world. You can be in this world. You can enjoy the rainbow, but you don't get to reject the entire colors of the rainbows, because they are all one. They come from one single light. So you don't have to make choices around according if it is good or bad. Let the choices appear to you as they are in this world, and you are not from this world. So let the choices appear and just place your mind in that specific spot of light and ask God, the source, the light, the energy, whatever you want to frame it, to show you what is the right path, or what is the highest possible choice that you can make. What love have me do? That is what Tom always said to us. So I really think this lesson is really like important. Be still in an instant, or yeah, be still an instant and go home. That's all you need to do every single time that you have conflictive emotions within yourself. That's the only thing that there is, in fact, for you to feel at ease. I wanted to share that, and thank you, Tom, because really this meditation was powerful for me. And hi, Luisa, my friend. How are you? How are you doing? Are you already in Colombia? Well, I guess she can't talk right now, and I don't know if she's already in
I
Colombia.
can't.
Hi.
No, I am not yet there, but I can't speak right now, but I'll call you later. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for today's lesson.
Okay. Okay, my friend.
Well, it's summertime, people. That's what happens in the summertime. We have these nice, sweet little interactions, and I hope you guys got everything you needed out of it. I got a ton out of it, and I hope the space was good for you. And we'll be back tomorrow to read 183. But today, let's come back to our thought of the day. I will be still a moment and go home. I will be still a moment and go home.